We out here, we back. We back, we back, we back. I really didn't want to record today. I really didn't want to record today. Um, I kind of, I go in and out of stuff. I go up and down. But then it kind of dawned on me like, okay, well then that's an opportunity to kind of discuss and to talk about and to emphasize the importance of the things that get me out of those ruts and to get, and to, to get me out of those cycles, and that's community, the people around me, the people I hold close, my friends, my family, um, shit like that. And community's a fucking sticky one, bro. Community's a sticky one because I think you gotta go find your people. I don't think, you know, the the people that you're born around and the people that you grow up around necessarily are always gonna be enough for everybody. Some people they're born into a certain environment among certain people, and they're able to kind of get, they're able to be like satiated in those relationships, I guess, and they're able to get everything they need out of that community that they're born into, and that's great. And I feel happy for those people, but I'm not one of those people. I had to kind of go out and find my people, and I'm at a point in my life now where I have a really I don't have a kind of group of friends. It's not like a thing where it's like, 11 man and we all roll together type of thing. Like, I have multiple very close friends, and then like kind of dotted about like smaller groups, individuals, that sort of stuff. But it's not important that everybody's in the same room. It's important that you find and you kind of foster good relationships, and it's important to find the right people to do that. And community is one of them things where so many people will just end up where they end up and feel like they've got to change and they've got to, twist themselves and contort themselves and you know, manufacture themselves to be a certain type of person just to fit in with the people that they ended up around. Not that they chose to be around, or not that even chose to be around them. They just ended up around these people, and then they think like, oh, well, I might as well just kind of say this, or do this, or stay quiet, or get louder just to fit in. And it's horrible. It's horrible for you to do that shit because it kind of puts the kind of predisposition in your head that like, okay, in order to be liked, in order to be valuable to another person, in order to be valued to myself even, I have to change. I have to become a person that suits this group or person's kind of wants and needs, kind of while foregoing my own. And so many, I would say a majority of people are like that. And it's very rare that you see kind of people who have proper good friendships and relationships and shit like that, um, or more than one of those relationships like that, because they just put up with people and they just kind of tolerate people instead of intentionally participating in friendships and relationships that they know they are going to find value in, rather than think the other person is going to find value in. Like, friendships and relationships are not about engaging with the perspective of, I hope this guy likes me. I wanna, or I hope this girl likes me even, or I hope this, I hope that. It's I fuck with this person. I want this person in my life. That's it. They're a good person, they're a funny person, they're a nice person. I want that person in my life. And whether or not they stay in your life is really contingent on two things. Do they stay the same person that you want in your life and do you keep them there? Or are you a person that they fuck with? And do they want you there? And if you're not, it's whatever, right? But that any change, any adaptation, any kind of movement in your life shouldn't be triggered by what other people want out of you. The growth has to come from you. The want to grow, the want to change has to come from you. So, because otherwise you're not actually growing, you're not actually changing, you're not actually like moving forward. You're just faking, you're just masking, right? You're just putting on a face that you don't really fuck with, and then you become a person that you don't really fuck with, or at least you present yourself as a person that you don't really fuck with the majority of the time, and that's really fucking unhealthy and really bad. But community is fundamental. You need good people around you. You need them. You need access to people who you can talk to, who are gonna be either maybe they have biases, maybe they're impartial, maybe they're just gonna sit there and listen, or maybe they're gonna give you like valuable advice or critique, or maybe horrible advice and critique, but they care at the very least. Um, yeah, community is so fucking important, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to have the community that I have around me. And it's not a big kind of shared interest. I'm part of a big fucking group. It's like 10 people total, you know, that I actually fuck with, that I actually resonate with, that I actually find value in having in my life. 10 people, maybe less, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But, I don't have an exact number on that because I kind of have to list everybody off. But it's just, yeah, community, community. It's hard to find. It's uncomfortable to find. You gotta go through a lot of trial and error. You gotta sometimes spend time around people that you don't really end up fucking with, and you thought you fucked with, and you thought you liked, and you thought they liked you, just to find out that they very much don't, or you very much don't. But that's not a failure. That's necessary. That's part of the process. Uh, you have to kind of not test people, but at least kind of test your waters in whatever environment it is to see, and sometimes it takes weeks, months, years to see that. But it's important that as soon as you understand that these people are not providing value to my life, you get the fuck out of there, you know? You get the fuck out of there. And that doesn't mean you have to hate those people. That doesn't mean you have to fucking, you know, smear them or whatever. But it just means like I'm just gonna keep these people at arm's length because they're gonna do what they're gonna do. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Never shall the two meet, sort of thing. You know. So yeah, it's risky and it's uncomfortable and it's difficult. But if you're authentic and you're true to yourself, and you're always true to yourself, and you're always open and honest and wear your heart on your sleeve, you'll find your people eventually, you know. You for sure will find your people. And don't chase the people that just give you that short term little dopamine hit or that short term satisfaction because they're not worth it, man. They're really not worth it. They're fun, you know, they're fun, but when shit gets real and you need a friend and you need advice and you need somebody to talk to and somebody to confide in and somebody to pour your heart out to, they ain't gonna be the man, you know. They are not gonna be the man. And sometimes there's a place for to have those people in your life, you know. But I haven't found one that I can kind of justify in mine. And that's not to say they're bad people, and that's not to say that they're horrible people and they should be criticized or they should be put down. It's just in my own experience, it doesn't help. It doesn't provide anything that I don't already have or can't already create for myself. And I think that's the point of community is kind of the accumulation of mentalities and perspectives and experiences and opinions forming together to create something that ultimately is far more productive and far more sustainable and far better than anything any one of those individuals could create because you make up for each other's weaknesses and you double down on each other's strengths. And it's hard to let go. It's hard to let go. And I've had to let go so many times because there's been so many times in my life where people who I thought I was close to, who I thought I could like confide in and rely on and shit, um, turned out to not be those people and turned out to not have my best interests at heart. And that realization hurts. That realization hurts. It hurts like deep to your fucking core. But it's necessary. It's necessary and it's a good thing. It's a good hurt. It's a good pain because it's productive. At the very least, you've had the peace of mind to take a look at yourself and your situation and the people around you and to truly understand whether or not it's beneficial to you and whether or not it's something you actually want or it's just something that's there and you're kind of putting up with because you can't be asked or you don't see a way of finding anything better. And I'm kind of in a situation right now, exactly like that actually, where I've got this thing that I hold so near and dear to my heart, and there is a community element associated with it, and the kind of wider community associated with that thing that I love so much has provided me with a lot of opportunity to grow and to learn and to pursue the things that I want to pursue in my life. But the people, the environments, the perspectives, the kind of method, the modus operandi, the method of operations it doesn't align with what I want and what I need and how I want to do things and how I want to live my life because that's important. Maybe yes, it enables you to do what you want to do and to get what you want to get, but it might not enable you to live your life the way you want to live your life. Because yeah, it might give you all of the fame and the fortune and the money and the hose and the blow, but is it going to give you freedom, or is it gonna put you in a box and you need to find the thing that can give you. Sometimes it's not worth it, you know. Sometimes it's not worth chasing the money and the hoes and the coke and the parties and the fucking Wolf of Wall Street, fucking 20 million fucking dollars, you know, the whole fucking thing. Sometimes it's not worth it. Sometimes it's worth it to be able to fucking have freedom, to have liberty, and to have, you know, a choice in what you do every day, and the choice in when you do it and how you do it and why you do it, and to be broke and to be fucking, you know, struggling to have that freedom and struggling to have that opportunity and struggling to have that choice. But in my opinion, that struggle is worth it. It is worth it to struggle in order to have freedom and to have liberty and to have choice. And community, a good community, takes a lot of that struggle away, because a community will support you in those choices, will support you in that freedom. A good community, anyway, a valuable community will support you in those choices and that freedom. But a bad community, a bad group of people, a bad kind of network around you is going to drag you in, is going to drag you into that box. And they'll lock you in that box, and they'll try and make you and convince you and trying to steer you in ways that you don't want to be steered. And it's just not worth it, man. It's never, ever, ever worth it. You got to live your life for you. You've got to pursue whatever you want to pursue for you. And if that means dropping something you really, really love and you've loved for so long. Bro, as I'm saying this, I'm literally talking to myself right now, because I need to drop this shit. You motherfuckers obviously don't know what that is, but I do, and I need to drop it. And I've needed to drop it for a while. But there's always this thing in my head where it's one more run, one more run, one more run, one more try, one more attempt, one more go, one more fucking chance. Because that's all I've ever wanted, is a chance. And I'm big age now, you know. I'm an adult now, and I'm starting to get to the point where I think maybe I'm not gonna get that chance. Maybe I'm not gonna get that chance. Not because I'm not talented enough, not because I don't work hard enough, not because I don't have the ability to, but because certain communities don't I don't see myself having a place within them, and they don't see me having a place within them either. And that's what it comes down to, is so often, you know. And regardless of whether or not I can let that shit go or not, it still taught me so much. It still allowed me to grow so much, you know. It still allowed me to find this thing within myself that I didn't even know existed. This drive, this passion, this motivation, love, this care, this attentiveness, this kind of this beautiful pain almost, you know. It sounds so cheesy. That sounds so cheesy, bro. That sounds so gay. That sounds so gay. But, you know, I'd be sucking dick at the end of the day, so gay ain't that far off. Um, yeah, it's just this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fucking stress and uncertainty and pain that I fucking crave, man. I crave it. Pressure. That's what it is. Pressure. I fucking love pressure. I fucking love pressure. I thrive under pressure. I need pressure to fucking function, you know? I need it. I don't want it. I fucking need it. And if I was just able to kick my feet up and take a step back and not need that and just be able to live my life and be happy without pressure, you know, I'd do it. But I can't, so I can't and I won't. And I think I need to understand that I can still preserve the community around me and the people that got around me and the relationships that I've built and the value that I find in them and take the lessons that I've learned from this pursuit and apply it to something new. Apply it to something different. But it's so scary, man. It's so fucking scary. I'm terrified. I'm terrified. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth that I don't want to say, and that's the truth that nobody wants to say, but that's the point of this. That's the point of this. That is the point of these videos, podcasts, whatever you want to fucking call them, is to admit these things and to talk about these things and to kind of give myself an opportunity to be present with with these things and to really, you know, put a lens on them because I don't really talk about them. You know, I talk about what I want to do and where I want to go and what I want to achieve and all that shit, but I never, excuse me, I never really take a step back and kind of think about this shit. And you can want something so badly and never ever be able to get it. At least not in that form, not in that makeup, not in that kind of way. But I can find the feeling, I can find the pressure, I can find the love and the uncertainty and the pain somewhere else. But just the same way, I have to look for it. I have to look for it. I have to find it. I have to go searching for it, and I have to try things that I haven't tried before to be able to do that. And I think I know what the next thing is. I think I know what the next pursuit is. I think I know exactly what I want to do. I want. Here's the plan. Plan, right? But get a van, get a camera, and hold a mirror up to the world. Because I felt, all my life, I felt so unseen, so alone, so neglected. And I've come to the understanding that that's not an uncommon feeling, that's not an uncommon trait. And I wanna make people feel seen. I think that's the way I can help them because money, I ain't got much of that. You know, I can't help people with money. Kind of empathy, I struggle with a lot. kind of, you know, but can I give somebody who's in a tough situation an opportunity to be seen, even for just a few seconds, or a few minutes, or a few hours? Can I give somebody who's not had the opportunity to really fight for themselves, or to fight for what they believe in? Can I give them the opportunity to do that by just holding up a mirror and showing the world, look, this is your neighbor, this is your brother, this is your cousin, your auntie, your uncle. This is what's going on around you, and you don't even know it. You don't even understand it. You don't even want to know it. You don't even want to understand it. You know? You'd much rather just fucking. Hang on. But you'd much rather just sit there and just believe whatever the fuck you're told because it's so easy. It's so easy and it's so comfortable and it's so accessible because they make it easy, they make it comfortable, they make it accessible. And I bit on that shit too. I bit on that shit too. And for so long, I believed just whatever I was fucking told. And then I had this fucking reality check where I kind of understood that most of the people that will convince you that they're trying to support you or help you or fix your situation, they're not trying to do that, you know. I'm not talking about therapists and doctors and shit like that. I'm talking about the man with the microphones, the men in suits, the big smiling fucking mouthpieces that say all we've got to do is just do this and all the problems will be solved, right? And you go, yay, all the problems will be solved, and then the problems aren't solved, and people just keep fucking believing it, and that loop amongst you know the the younger communities of the world, because these communities are together, and because these people are together, and because these like-minded individuals are coming together, that system and that fucking putrid, horrible, corrupted, manipulated, propagandized messaging is starting to fall apart. So what do? They fucking go and buy TikTok. They go and buy TikTok and then they fucking, you know, let you make fucking child porn on Twitter with the fucking AI and shit like that. And they just flood all of the avenues that the youth have to try and understand what's going on around them with bullshit, right? Because if they can't control the narrative, they can't dam the river, right? That's it. They used to have a dam, you know? They used to have a dam on the river and they could control exactly what goes in and exactly what goes out. And everybody relied on the water in that dam to get by. And then the dam broke. And as soon as the dam broke on that motherfucking river, instead, instead of attempting to rebuild the dam, instead of trying to maybe, change the course of the river, or instead of just maybe letting the river flow in its all its natural beauty and not corrupt it with the wants and the needs of men, they decided, let's poison the fucking river. So then it's useless to everybody. Let's throw a bunch of fucking shit into this river so that now anybody who drinks it is going to get ill. Anybody who drinks it is going to get fucking sick. And then what are the chances of them ever trusting the river again, right? That's what they're doing. They're not trying to control narrative. They're trying to dilute it. They're trying to completely remove all validity of everything that you see in front of you. So then you get to pick. You get to pick what you want to be told, and somebody will be telling you it. That's the fucked bit. Is you get to pick exactly what bias you want to fall into, and there will be somebody perpetuating that and parroting that and spreading that. And it's happening now. And the way that you avoid these things is community. Actual people. Not narrative, not media. Because all of that is corrupted, all of that is propagandized, all of that is controlled to some level. But genuine, authentic, productive, useful conversations are not. At least if the person's not lying to your face. And that's how people got by. Whether it was their church, whether it was their school, whether it was their workplace, And then you obviously end up falling into the thing of, well, you just tolerate what you've got because you can't find anything else, and the internet and social media provides you the opportunity to find something else without leaving the confines of your four walls. But it's not worth the risk, in my opinion, to throw yourself down these pipelines to just feel seen, to feel seen by others, to be seen as valuable by others. When in reality, are you providing value? Are they providing value to you? No, but because you jerk each other off and you agree with each other's opinions, you get that feedback loop and you both feel like, yeah, I'm doing something important, you know? And that's what I'm trying to avoid. Like, the reason for the mask, right? And there's gonna be people. I've said this before, but there's gonna be people who find these videos, who know me, who recognizes my room and the clothes I wear, and my voice and shit. Right? They're gonna know it's me, and they're gonna ask me, bro, what the? Why are you on YouTube talking into a camera for hours at a time with a fucking mask on? And it's so, as much as I possibly can, other than drawing a fucking animation or using, Call of Duty fucking public match footage like a fucking Pyrocynical back in the day, or a Leafy. I can detach myself. I can detach myself, not because I'm scared of people knowing my identity, because when I do these docs and shit, I'll probably have my face out there in these docs. But for specifically the purpose of this, it is to be present in my own thought processes and to kind of ask myself questions while also trying to kind of talk on subjects and maybe, give myself the space to think about things in a different way and give myself time to, just be present and not be concerned about whether or not people give a fuck about what I look like or what my fucking skin color is or where I come from or shit like that. And people obviously can tell, right? People can tell I'm a white guy. Hello, it's not fucking hard to tell. People can tell I'm from the UK. It's not fucking hard to tell. But other than that, people cannot just take this as at face value, you know? It's easy to just sit there and watch a video of somebody with a pretty face. It's easy to just watch there and laugh at a video of somebody with a fucking ugly face. It's a bit more challenging to engage with content that is not visually appealing, and that's the purpose. I'm not trying to gather a community of individuals that only gives a shit about what this looks like. Because even when, not if, when I upgrade the setup and I upgrade the production value, the format will be the same. Camera, mic, mask, chair. Now, it'll be a different camera, a different mic, maybe a different mask, maybe a different chair in a different place. We might switch it up a little bit, but at the end of the day, the premise stays the same. And I'm trying to display the perspectives of just an average motherfucker who isn't rich, who isn't successful, who's not trying to sell you a course, who's not trying to, you know, get you to subscribe to the Patreon, who's not trying to get you to like and subscribe and comment because it really helps me in the algorithm. I don't give a fuck about any of that, you know? And I hope that one day I don't end up giving a fuck because if I do, it will be like a case study on the corrupting fucking powers of this social media shit. But, you know, maybe that day will come, who fucking knows. But I'm trying to, if there is a community to be built around this premise, I'm trying to build a community of honesty and authenticity that is free of judgment and is open to hearing the perspectives of all people. All people. Not some people, not people I agree with, not people I disagree with, not think people that make me comfortable. All people. Will I challenge people? Absolutely. Absolutely, I'll challenge people if I disagree with them. Absolutely. But will I completely isolate myself and isolate them from, you know, being able to resonate with somebody maybe from the other side of the aisle? No. Because that's how you breed fucking radicalization, you idiot. That's how you fucking make people radical, is you alienate them and you isolate them, and then someone comes along to those alienated, isolated people and then says, here is the solution to your alienation and your isolation. Follow this ideology. And then they follow the ideology, they get radicalized, and they end up doing some fucked up shit. And I'm not trying to create radicals. I'm trying to create moderates. I'm trying to create at least a perspective that people can latch onto that allows people to just witness, witness and understand, whether they agree or disagree, witness and understand. That's all. And if that breeds a community of people and I find like-minded individuals who support the content and I become a success because of that, then fucking yeah, bro, banging. If it doesn't, fucking yeah, bro, banging. I haven't got shit anyway. What have I got to lose? What have I got to gain? Because me, the individual, the person, the government name, the person that exists to the world, has nothing to gain. My reputation has nothing to gain. I'm not plastering my face on billboards saying, you know, all this and all that. I'm just trying to be real. And I think the point of this is like the subject is community, but I think that at the core of community is authenticity. Whether you're a piece of shit or you're a fucking saint, be real. Be real, be true, be authentic, and you will find like-minded individuals. And that's a scary thing to do sometimes because you don't risk rejection, you guarantee it. You guarantee rejection. For every one person that fucks with you, there's gonna be one that doesn't. And that's whatever. It's okay. Fuck 'em. But do your due diligence to at least understand. Even if you don't fuck with people, even if they're not a part of your community and a part of your tribe, still take the fucking time and the consideration to understand people. I don't mean understand the dictator. I don't mean understand, the fucking elite that you could not possibly relate to. But I mean, at the very least, understand the indoctrinated, radicalized motherfucker who's in the same economic position as you, who comes from the same place as you, but was exposed to different things at a different time in their life and it led them down a different path. You need to understand that all of the people, all of them, good, bad, it doesn't matter, left, right, up, down, all of the people that you see in front of you could have been you. If you were put into that person's circumstances, if you were indoctrinated to believe the things that they believe, if you were convinced by your parents the same things that they were convinced, by their parents, you would be that human being. You would. You absolutely fucking would. Tony Stark, Doctor Doom, same motherfucker, different circumstances. And yeah, this one's loose. This one's kind of I'm not as honed in this one as I was in previous ones, but I think that comes down to I just didn't want to do this today. But I'm still doing it because it's not about whether I want to do it. It's about whether I need to do it, and I do need to do it. So we're doing it. But yeah, I think the moral of the story is find your people. Find your people. And keep those you don't fuck with at arm's length, but don't write them off and don't reduce them to dirt or dehumanize them simply because they're not you. Because they could be, and you could have been them. So just treat people with love. The world will give you back what you put into it. And yeah, I don't really have much to say. It's a pretty short one, 45 minutes. But it's okay. Fuck it. Talk for as long as I want to talk, you know? Um, don't subscribe, don't like, don't comment, don't share. I'm out.